As with all aspects of the Trilock setup, attention to detail is crucial. It's important to use a backlit light table that uses a diffuse light source in order to avoid misalignments due to the optical distortions that can occur when using a point light source, such as bare fluorescent tubes beneath clear glass. You'll also need to use a table with a glass top to keep everything flat during the alignment process. Distortions of even the smallest amount will cause larger problems later in the process. Items that you'll need to have on hand for setup and film alignment include scissors, a clear tape dispenser for taping films, focusing loops, a place to set carrier sheets near the table, and a close trash can for carrier sheet trimmings. The first step in making your reference points on the light table is to align the master frame's pin bar. In addition to the master frame and one of the two pin bars, you'll need to have some heavy tape, such as duct tape, a long straight edge, a ruler, clear tape, a square, a thin tip permanent marker, and alcohol. You can use any proven flat surface for this step. In this case, we're using our light table. Do not do this on your exposure table. Tape down the master frame using duct tape or similar heavy-duty tape so that the frame will not move. Clean the top end of the master frame with alcohol. This will ensure a positive adhesion for the pin bar. Take one carrier sheet and mount it on the pin bar. Lay the pin bar with the carrier sheet attached on the top end of the master frame that you just cleaned. Using the carrier sheet to move the pin bar, measure 2 inches or 5 centimeters from the inner edge of the master frame to the edge of the pin bar, and 1/4 inch or 6 millimeters from the side of the top stop block to the end of the pin bar. Once the pin bar is correctly positioned, tape the bottom edge of the carrier sheet to the table to prevent it from moving. Double-check your measurements. This is important, as once it has been applied, the adhesive-backed pin bar will be very difficult to remove. Carefully fold back the carrier sheet with the pin bar attached and peel off the adhesive backer. Carefully lay the carrier sheet and pin bar back into place and gently press the pin bar down onto the master frame. Measure one more time to confirm the positioning, and firmly press the pin bar into place. If the pin bar has shifted and is incorrectly placed, remove it, clean the master frame, and reapply the pin bar in the same manner using new double-faced tape. The next step is to obtain reference lines from the master frame's pin bar position and transfer them to the light table. Create a T-shaped carrier sheet by taping a second carrier sheet perpendicularly to the first. This will become the template for transferring reference lines to the light table. Remove the tape holding the carrier sheet to the table. Then, turn over the 2 carrier sheets and tape the back side of the joint to prevent distortion of the template during use. Remount the template on the pin bar. Measure 6 inches or 15.25 centimeters down from the top stop block and mark the table surface using the permanent marker. This will be the image top position. The center line distance will be determined by the width of your screen frame. For example, if you have a 23-inch screen, divide that distance by 2 and the resulting 11.5 inches will be your center line measurement. Measure the appropriate distance for your screens from the 2 side stop blocks and mark the carrier sheets using the permanent marker. Use a straight edge to connect the 2 marks and make a center line on the carrier sheets. Set a square along the center line on one edge and aligned with the image top mark on the other edge. Mark the carrier sheet and use the straight edge to draw the top line of the T on the film. Mark the carrier sheet with top to ensure that the template isn't flipped over when placing it on the light table. Now you'll use the template along with the second pin bar to transfer the guideline to the light table. After removing the template and master frame, clean the surface of the light table. Then, mount the template on the pin bar in a position that will be easily accessible when aligning films. Tape the template in place, but leave the top open to allow the carrier sheet with the pin bar to be folded back. Fold back the carrier sheet and pin bar, and peel off the adhesive backer on the pin bar. Carefully unfold the carrier sheet, and apply pressure to the pin bar to fix it to the table. Remove the tape holding the template to the table. Using a long straight edge along the center line, mark the lines of both ends of the template onto the glass tabletop. Do the same for the perpendicular image top line. Remove the carrier sheet template and connect the lines using the straight edge. Then, cover the lines with clear tape to prevent them from being cleaned away. Save the carrier sheet template in a safe place in case it is needed again. M&R automatic presses ship with an acetate image alignment grid. The grid can also be purchased directly through the M&R parts department. The art table can be configured to use this grid instead of the lines marked on the glass in the last section. To use the grid, you'll prepare the table in the same way as you would for the marked table alignment. After removing the template and master frame, clean the surface of the light table. Then, mount the template on the pin bar and place them on the table in a position that will be easily accessible when aligning films. Tape the template in place, but leave the top open to allow the carrier sheet with the pin bar to be folded back. Fold back the carrier sheet and pin bar, and peel off the adhesive backer on the pin bar. Carefully unfold the carrier sheet and apply pressure to the pin bar to fix it to the table. Remove the tape holding the template to the table. After removing the template, trim off the top edge of the alignment grid just above the top printed line. Set the grid on the table below the pin bar and remount the template. Be sure to check the top mark for correct placement. Slide the grid under the carrier sheet template and position so that the center line and image top lines are aligned with those marked lines on the grid. Tape the grid in position using clear tape at 2 points near the top. And remove the carrier sheet template to be saved in a safe place in case it is needed again. Then finish taping the grid in all 4 corners to secure it to the table for use. Before mounting the master frame on the exposure bed, clean the glass thoroughly with glass cleaner. If there are remains of adhesives or other matter, use a stronger cleaner or a razor blade to remove the debris. Carefully set the master frame in the center of the exposure unit with the long edge containing the stop blocks toward the front of the exposure unit and the edge with the pin bar to the right. In order to prevent movement of the master frame while loading screens, use a heavy-duty tape around 3 of the inside edges of the master frame. Leave the top area where the pin bar is mounted untaped. Tape in this area can cause films to buckle or bind, affecting registration. Every few months, move the master frame a few inches in varying directions to help prevent the vacuum blanket from wearing in spots where it stretches around the frame. Do not use double-faced tape to secure the master frame to the glass. While double-faced tape will hold the frame securely, it will make it extremely difficult to remove. This frequently results in damage to the glass.